We have a major problem, guys. As you can see, the answer to this question, which I just posted, is not obvious to everybody. Bitcoin versus XRP, which coin is more decentralized? You'd think everybody would be fully aware of this answer. You can see this is not the case. This is what I want to talk about in today's video. I want to provide a little bit of clarity, and I'm actually going to share with you a point in Bitcoin's history where China did try to take control of Bitcoin's blockchain and they failed. This might be something you've never heard before. This is a piece of Bitcoin's history. By the way, guys, everybody make sure you like the video. By this time, the XRP army they're trying to downvote this video into oblivion. You probably notice some extra downvotes in this video. Let's try to cancel that out. Everybody like the video. Let's get this information out there to as many people as possible. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for our daily videos on everything going on with Bitcoin, crypto, the whole market. I'll be honest with you. The reason I'm making this video today is because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and this is my attempt to try to clue you in so you actually know what's going on. So in this video, I'm going to give you my full, unadulterated opinion. Of course, everything that follows is my own opinion based on my own research. I am going to try and back it up, though. But that being said, if you own Bitcoin, if you own XRP, it is crucial that you listen to this video. And full disclosure, I'm making this video based on a few comments which we received from yesterday's video. See, what I like from yesterday's video is that we were actually able to report to you with the CEO of the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. We were able to report to you what Ripple is doing without shilling the XRP token. See, many people, they took this interview and they used it to evangelize XRP, but that's not what we're about. As you know, I personally, I don't believe in XRP on a fundamental level. However, in that same breath, I would say that XRP isn't going anywhere. I think it is prone to pump since they have such a well-funded marketing team. And overall, I think coins that have big marketing budgets are going to pump the hardest in the next bull run. That's my opinion. And anyways, this is that clip. This is the clip in yesterday's video, which we did not reference. Among many clips, we didn't show you a lot of this interview. But this is the clip that everybody from the XRP army is talking about. Who is leading in decentralization?
Who's leading?
Well, it depends a little bit how we talk about leading. I mean, China, to your point, it's been fascinating to see it. I mean, they really, through mining power, control the Bitcoin blockchain. You have 4 miners in China that represent something like 60+% of mining capacity, and 80% of mining capacity is based in China for both Bitcoin and Ether.
Is Bitcoin's mining centralized in China? Is this a problem? We hear this a lot. In my opinion, people don't really understand what they're talking about and they don't know the history of Bitcoin. The fact is, if China was able to control Bitcoin's mining, they would have done it already. Here's the thing, guys. The scary reality is that in 2017, China already tried to use their influence to control Bitcoin, and they failed. How many of you were around in early to mid 2017? If you were here in early to mid 2017, you might remember, if you were in the know, you might remember China miners tried and failed to control Bitcoin's blockchain. It was through a bad actor known as Jihan Wu and Bitmain, and they teamed up with Roger Ver, who eventually forked into Bcash. History is very complicated. This is for sure hard to understand, especially if you're not technical. This is hard for me to understand. So let me just read you some insightful comments from people who actually know. I'm here to enlighten you with this because I didn't know this. This blew my mind. And we're going to start here with Turr. This is why studying Bitcoin's history is so important. It's because if you know Bitcoin's history, you know back in 2017, China miners tried and failed to control Bitcoin's blockchain with B2X hard fork. In reality, they tried, but they could not change one iota of the code. Well, what's this all about? Let's actually pivot over to this Reddit poster. He sums up the history and puts this in perspective rather nicely. This is what happened in mid-2017. He goes, the simple rebuttal to the idea that China controls Bitcoin through mining power is that it's misleading because they already tried to use their influence and failed. The biggest miner in 2017, Bitmain, back then had the secret hack called ASIC Boost, which they built into their ASIC miners and deployed special FPGA controlling chipsets in order to take advantage of this for themselves. So Bitmain, they were using this unethical hack to try to give themselves in China this unfair advantage. For everybody else who bought the Bitmain hardware, the FPGAs didn't do the priming necessary to use this secret algorithm. Bitmain had gone to huge expense to build this into their chips, and they got the huge benefits. But there was one problem, a software protocol proposal change called SegWit. SegWit stomped on a couple bits in the header field that allowed Bitmain to keep their use of ASIC Boost secret. If SegWit was implemented, they'd have to do this trick in the open, and then they'd face anger from the Chinese and non-Chinese community, which might boycott Bitmain in some crafty way. In order to fight SegWit, Bitmain launched a massive disinformation campaign, which included partnering with Roger Ver, resulting in the Bcash split, which Bcash did not plan to apply SegWit, so they'd be preserving Bitmain's mining advantage. Brian Armstrong at Coinbase joined the defectors at the time from the Bitcoin core developers and their technical understanding and helped draw industry weight behind another fork called SegWit 2x. So it was very difficult for non-technical people to understand at the time. The subreddit r/Bitcoin turned into a total crap storm, trolling, rehashed propaganda. Books will be written about this moment in Bitcoin history because everybody wasted huge amounts of time. In the end, most of the Chinese miners and most of the regulator-cozy industrialists were lined up behind proposals very different from what you see operating on the network today. But a variety of defensive techniques were developed, including one called UASF. SegWit launched with the proper technical parameters. Bcash non-violently succeeded and has become mostly irrelevant. SegWit 2x failed. ASIC Boost is free for everybody to use in the open now, and Coinbase, unfortunately, is still a popular exchange. One way to look at mining, once you understand the limitations of their power, is to say that mining merely selects which transactions arrive in the blocks first. They do not enforce other rules of the network. And I'd agree with that. I'd say miners are the slaves to the network, and the people who run the full nodes are the people in control. It's the people who are in control as long as you set up a full node. And finally, to put a cherry on top of this, you can actually see in this GIF right here how mining for Bitcoin is trending towards being more decentralized. You talk to these XRP army people and they'll tell you, oh, XRP is more decentralized because Ripple, the company, only controls 20% of the validators, and then 80% of the validators are controlled by third parties. I believe they're like exchanges and banks and people at the XRP, or that the Ripple company helps set up these nodes, people that are working with them. I mean, the reality is they don't have any validators or nodes in the hands of the people like Bitcoin does. And I showed you the mining distribution. So that's it for today. Whoops. All right. Like I said, this is just one man's opinion. I'm not saying it won't pump because I actually think they got one of the best marketing teams. I think when people, first get into the space, they kind of, it's easy to wrap your head around the bank coin. It's been 5 years. Are any banks using XRP regularly? I don't think so. Some have tested it, right? But we'll see if they start gaining adoption from banks. I will easily change my mind, but I don't think banks are interested in this. All right. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Like always, let me know what you think in the comments.